compassion, a love that's never failing. Let mercy fall on me. Everyone needs forgiveness, the kindness of a Savior, the hope of nations. Savior.
This is Chariot.
We thank you for joining us today on Chariot TV, and we are grateful that you are with us also on Test Talk. Na any afeno eda ai etwa awiye ai di shia e wo Test Talk so. Na and also interestingly, Yabomodin say our studies into the authorship of the Bible concerning the Old Testament no. And yede eno no beba wiye na afefu from no ya to addition no so e free the authorship of the books of the New Testament. Nti ene enso me wo ewo yemfinfin esempaka ni Shadrach opon all over this time what kind of hon ewo ya addition no mu. Brother Shadrach, the more akwa bebiu e de ba Test Talk so.
Yeah, yo, now I want to say.
Nyankopon adom me ho ye pa na mpacho won so e.
Oyame adom me ho ye papa.
Yeda say was it the bia yeshia aya me ka say yeda wase. Why are there if you say free time I did Test Talk is your any addition on the Bible no. What was say anytime bia you beton safro bia no you avail yourself and you prepare ahead of that to come and lead us in our topic on the Bible. We are very grateful now. Yes, Nyankopon ahoɔden ne nhyira de ama wo emre waje e de ama yen ewo yadesua yi ho. Now, last week okasafa 3 books the book of Zechariah, the book of Malachi, and then the book of Esther. That's concerning their authorship. Apart from Malachi and Zechariah, the 2 characters mentioned are the same authors. No, who mentioned say the most probable author of the book of Esther was Mordecai. Apart from the other books over the period, what you can church concerning their authorship and the background that you gave. No, Bijidi say and additional baby and I'm for what boyama. All the 39 books of the Old Testament, we will have a very fair idea about the authors of these books. Yama Akraba and Yama Akwanso so obi to me and a actual addition so.
Yo be that say say Meko Swada was say that can be in your intro no interesting to me. Na my dream ma so say and next Friday the last Friday in a year the year 2023. Naturally say next time you be share Test Talk so even though next week you know na a new year and you bet so which is something to me now and then you share 4 main books now for these books are very important books because Joe say some books we need the understanding of the Old Testament in Israel for we will not be able to get it well. We will not satisfy our curiosities.
Okay. These
books are very, very important. One, the book of Ezra. Now, most of the times, the Ezra etoto Moses at home. Now, the theater say, and then maybe one more, a see Ezra Abraham, any Moses at the end of AI say, anything. Israel for no more on Kwasumo Egypt. ɛna onyankopɔn na Moses so koyi wɔn firi nkwaso mu meboa.
Ane.
The same thing ɛna Ezra nso so na Israel for nkwaso mu Babylon ɛne Medo-Persia nsɛm ɛna onyankopɔn nam Ezra so elidi wɔn de wɔn ba back to wɔn asase no. So what I say, ɛna Moses so no ɔtwerɛ, Ezra nso no a scribe no so twerɛ.
Okay.
So it's those are some of the things, and some of the things in one more. Interesting say Ezra will tell the people to go back to the book of the 5 books of Moses, and study them. It's Ezra. Can I say Israel for no omo konkwasumu omo they based on omo genealogy and omo they who say way of ohene a line no way or your suffer because so being your suffer no ko raf ayiwa
Temple. Yeah.
Why wa bu omo odin bi omo de ma no wa say wagu hopi.
Okay.
Na say yehu abusua bia obi afrim na ma yetima hu de obetima di anim wo asofo ayimu ba kai say omfrim kwasum bae no ahenie no de agu. They are not going to have a king ever again till Jesus comes. What I say, Ezra be mayen not just ono no edom firi nkwaso mu ba no osa be man obi abusua ofiri mu etisa ope book wa emayen the list of people every Adam so eba Ezra na this ejuma no emayen but not in the book of Ezra, not in the book of Ezra, but Ezra gave us that record in another book. I become in the book of Ezra, no, one of the things he been about to compare him to Moses, Ezra chapter 7. Yeah, chapter 7. In fact, the Benjamin chapter 7 kakrebi na and maybe chapter 7, verse 1 chrono.
Ezra chapter 7, verse number 1. Now, after these things, in the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra, the son of Seraiah, the son of Azariah, the son of Icaiah, the son of Shallum, son of Zadok, the son of Ahitub, the son of Amariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Merioth, the son of Zerahiah, the son of Uzi, the son of Buki, the son of Abushua, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the chief priest.
Let's now the man or tracy from here.
Or the free
on one
so okay.
Papa. Oh, to papa. Also say Ezra, the son of Seraiah.
Okay, or the free on so
okay. Azariah. And o tracy ya to who?
Aaron.
And then no person chere.
Not just say one would be a soft one.
Exactly. So Ezra is telling them, say, I am a priest indeed. His answer, me priest, The entire me a priest, I can be a high priest because me free Aaron a man, almost the high priest. Ezra was more like the high priest. What I say, and what tracing I want to Aaron, to Phinehas, to Eleazar. What I say, I who he is. Now I come back to chapter. In fact, also baby away ya crowd. Oto also kakrabia verse 6 and also saying,
This Ezra came up from Babylon, and he was a skilled scribe in the law of Moses, which the Lord God of Israel had given. The king granted him all his requests, according to the hand of the Lord his God upon him.
The king granted him, honor Ezra, right? The king bear. And into the chapter 1. There. Chapter 1. There from verse 1. Erbano. Up to verse 2. What's it saying?
Now, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, so that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and also put it in writing, saying, Thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth, the Lord God of heaven has given me, and he has commanded me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah.
Yo, same way Papa can chapter 1 verse 1 and verse 2 no. Utie verse 1 I will say said the bear Jeremiah and some more kind bebamuno. God stir up the spirit of Cyrus. It is Cyrus no ye ohene na a Persia hene and on media for cabo. In fact, I can't only media for cabo, but in natural sense, no, or no conquered media for. And in natural sense, no, media ni. We don't have time to talk more about Cyrus, but the thing is that Cyrus a media for no. On say o Medo Persia media no. Ohina no teso ne baba and on the Persia ni ekwawoy. It's on the Persia ni kwawoy no. And papa no say akwara mo no e Persia ni no. O mani medi ono no abusuan so ehene. Say ne baba wo nti da achi within the baba no e baba bedi hene o Persia. Akwa na oware no no wo ye no akwa na ohiani. Enti omo nkokuma kwala no. Omo kokuma kwala omo nkuno. Ana omo de no ma obi foforo. Say nipa no enkoku no. Nipa no koye no na yere say me so ma wo akwala na wu. Enti ene yemfa akwala na wo wu no. Engogosie na nemu. Na family na nche na nemu. That is the story of Cyrus. But Joe, the interesting is that some way I make country the real story is see about Cyrus. O pesa okanya or obetuma kope Herodotus. I can a book called Herodotus. And I say Josephus. Now, the amount something serious and say Cyrus has some way I can. Now Isaiah Shannon come 200 years and son Eba Besi. Joe, our God is a powerful God. It is Cyrus way, and ne papa no, ne nana no ye media for him no. I say yebewo akwala we na waba betu ne papa ne nana hini egudi a. In fact, ne come share say oba betu ne nana hini egu. Nti no ka se nkuku no.
Okay.
Eti omo babe omoye enam so later on obetu ne nana hini egu yampa. They believe say when two angunemum he took over, which is the same thing. Odma say he took over from Nina Nano. Ena ode Nina Nano na hini no echo fight Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar ahini no. Ena otu Nebuchadnezzar ahini no. Satana Nebuchadnezzar nana ena teso. Ena obetu no. Say what kind Daniel chapter 5 or say and sabichro down mene pata hute no eno sa kasa na chro e say ene wahindie no wagefro say no bechem ama media ne Persia for no Sa ohene na okotu ahene no go sa da no ano Persia Cyrus ya. Cyrus we ena Onyankopon ote omukọ kan kire nse Nyankopon ahye nkom ato ansa na wo mpo ye bewo papa mpo. Sa nkom hye ne se wo obekọ akosi obema Nyankopon ma asa akomu achi no makosi dan ama Onyankopon. To te and he became proud of it say obi a onim iju fo ba bia no Onyankopon abo ne din so obema na yesa. Nti ono na nam so a o issue a decree say Israel for nsan kọ omo achi. Eti omo lead delegation no kono papa ye friend Ezra. So I say nti Ezra led the delegation a womo edipa no free eba Jerusalem. That is the little about Ezra. Now the question is enkrofo no omo aba no Ezra the ultimate tracing in their hun baby free. Kai say one mesesa the name obi ehunu baby free no na ye tro udin any details share obusuafo ase. Ena sa na ema ni nyina no wo so akọ Babylon. Ezra nso na ye ohene a priest a otumi won kwan so kọ sanctuary ho. Na ne nsa otumi de ne nsa so enema konkrom bia nema no. So he had access to these records. What I say, into Ezra, the book of Ezra and the Troy. Now we are in the book of First Chronicles.
Okay.
So what I say, the next book I'm passing here, the Chronicles. The Chronicles. Tamwa, maminka we say Tamwa Ezra no yes ejuma no. No all tron mbra no all write all the commandments Onyankopon de amom ne mbra hodo ni nyina no. All ye no. Now there was another man honestly in charge of people who came back. And their friend Nehemiah. It's Nehemiah. And so no ne task on so be and say atama Nehemiah eba no time on so back no na Ezra mo di kind of that. What I say Ezra mo di kind abesi temple no ama Ezra ene Haggai ene Zachariah mo adi kind a wo mo abesi temple na wie but omo si wie ye no na omo ntimi nto war emfa kro no eti Nehemiah no so bae no obeto war fa kro no ho na no all to war no Tobias ne Sanballat mo say wo mpene. So what I say that's why we cluster the 4 books together.
The 4 books together, okay.
And they are the last books that were written in the history of the Old Testament. It's a Malachi the last book. It's our 4 books we know, and the last because which after the year bibia omana sa back. What I say that is when prophecy ceased. It will be a prophesy view. That is what we know from the records of the scriptures. Before making First and Second Chronicles, so my uncle Nehemiah Kakrebi, because it is still part of Sanime. Nehemiah, the man is wonderful. Say resilient. You can't resilient in the Bible. Now, Joe Nehemiah, you focus on you need to read Nehemiah. Nehemiah, Juma, then Crofona more time on actual letter. Time more time in answer. Pese Israel for better war for Jerusalem. So to war for Jerusalem, they can't go and fight them any longer. And what they did, they say, "Woman see walls in Nehemiah, Achiche Jumano, at the family be a one side and a more build it way more build it back now we more build it now Joe and then call Nehemiah. Yeah, be the book of Nehemiah, chapter 1. Nehemiah chapter 1. Verse 1, of course, is saying.
Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 1. The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah. It came to pass in the month of Chislev, in the 20th year, as I was in Shushan, the citadel, that Hanani, one of my brethren, came with men from Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews who had escaped, who had survived the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem.
Joe,
and he said to me,
the
survivors who were left from captivity in the
Joe, sir, and some of mommy, a papa, okay. They see your horror. Where after say, what do you mean, God? On South Chrono boy and Shushan, the city now Obodino, the same city na Esther ewoho. What I say, the same city Shushan no, na Esther wa yade enya the book of Esther or the story about Esther no, ena yenya ede Ephraim. I want you to see the picture. Na me pese uhu say the city papa no bo din say Shushan no is the same city and na Esther ewo ho no, right? The same city, but the difference in say on hini ano ote say adwa so sa time we no, or a different from on hini ano ote so Esther time no.
Okay.
It won't say we obebo ni din say oye Artaxerxes. And I say they cannot Artaxerxes. Xerxes here on him no also Esther time no. And an eba any the otiso sabria Nehemiah economy. 80 chapter 2, verse 1, and then okay.
Okay. Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 1. And it came to pass in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of King Artaxerxes, when wine was before him, that I took the wine and gave it to the king. Now, I have never been.
I'm saying your line no break. But Papa Yasimo, what can I say? He has never been at the presence of the king. Now, on yet what is right. At the presence of that time no, won't even call him whilst you are sad. Won't even call him wabra we oraho. It no Nehemiah Evra who said Jerusalem chrono Adam pine. It in a ra who no aba Artaxerxes anim and Artaxerxes ebuofu. In fact, Jesus move for you, but Nehemiah sure says Jesus move for no because Uma hinenim wabra ora ho. And I go to Asman or see.
Therefore, the king said to me, why is your face sad, since you are not sick? This is nothing but sorrow of heart. So I became dreadfully afraid.
Why?
And said to the king, may the king live forever. Why should
was he afraid? He was afraid because Oba on him now we are sad. The penalty ne say you chouti. It Nehemiah was afraid, say the asema what you know. Ama ne ra ho no dey call him nanim. Right? Enti no afi ni osro tijo to asoma na yenhwe osro se yebeku no ena ode areho abegira ohene anim ena ohene ne se bibi na ahya so to aso.
and said to the king, may the king live forever. Why should my face not be sad when the city, the place of my father's tombs, lies waste and its gates are burned with fire? Then the king said to me, what do you request? So I prayed to the God of heaven. And I said to the king, if it pleases the king and if your servant has found favor in your sight, I ask that you send me to Judah, to the city of my father's tombs, that I may rebuild it.
Shannon say, Nehemiah ya kana se me. Ya nwo no Israel man mu. Ya wo no omo nkwaso mu. Eto ono Jerusalem okra ma hoda.
Okay.
What I say, but he is aware say ne nananom asase no no. Eto okosre ohene say oma na kwan no onko. Now we will come back to the book of Nehemiah. It's a powerful book. Leadership book ankasa and the book of Nehemiah. It's Nehemiah. Ohene busa no Joe say he prayed and he told the king his plan. Yembebroa yam plan hwe yabrabum. Oh, say ye be ran new year mu say Joe. I don't know why any sabuku ya be shia pepepe. Ye be ran new year mu or onye plan bia for next year. It's in abrabo no I to say nso atona fa susai no na order ni no. The nso no be ko bia na ho no oko. What I say, he's not the driver of his life. It is circumstances determine where he will be in his life. Name sa o pese wan kasa o brabo no onyame hira na odi ye you should live what we call intentional life. What I say, Joe, Mamusa, minim say you are doing a PhD at Korea. Sir, well, you know now what o chira there a technical university of Chromahano. And I would that sorry and not let us show plan as say Korea for school. Itibra.
Me pacho Debbie.
Never say
Me
and I'll call apply me boy.
Yeah. Misusu
There are
say
a lot of exactly. So you plan, you put things in place, you execute the plan. You see, a lot of churches of Christ are conformed because there's no plan. Or there are plans are store. Oh, 20 years development plan. 2 years of that 20 years on the ground, we will not implement it. Your life, it's not intentional. Your jana JJ when I had to say abanya de society no it be be so the betena ko bia na ho na de eden echo in 2024 yeman yetie for say they need to plan their lives and leave that plan no leave it intentionally make sure say oh yeah now over the book of Nehemiah you see that Nehemiah gave the king the plan. He told the king there and executed those plans. Joe, you better ma komo but you need bra best idea. But the main can't say Nehemiah. It do baby no the funny thing. I can't wait till they free the book of Nehemiah. Wouldn't say Nehemiah yeah Jumas I don't want to letter brand say one brand no munye meeting. Ayo, Sambal Anthony Tobias and this uncle for no person almost stopping from a Juma oil. No, Omra no munye meeting.
He too fell.
I say, on ye. On man no me meeting bia. Nan crofon ko. No more kofa. Cromwo asofo na no mo di ayi ni subi. No more friend na ma say na me meeting omo a temple no munye meeting. Yo, a day pan office at Kele Church of Christ. Churches of Christ in Tia, Bebrena young Koso, a debate. A meeting. 1, 2 near friend meeting. ya betra wa twen sana ade na nkasa yesi ye no eda ho ne enye enemy cancel dodo ora mami nya no nto ha na enko yenim yanko the book of First Chronicles. Nehemiah na Troy, Ezra na Troy. But the last two books, you know, Ezra and Troy ni mienu nyina. You can't First Chronicles and Second Chronicles. Now I'm going to give you the background of why or throw those two books, you know. First one, they say, or percent crofone hunu you kind of saying ebusia kro mu free mu, right? Obi amra be hunu na ebusia ofree mu. Na wo pese wo be sofo a wo hunu se utimi sofo ma ne yi anasa wo sofo enye yi. Ena wo mo so mbetimi di hene no. Ohene no ma no nyina yekun wo mo. Time yede Zedekia ekro no. Yetutu nani ekosiamienu. Na onim ansa na Babylon Nebuchadnezzar mu etutu nani kosianu ndom di kan ye. Ne ma 4 wo mu kun mu nyina. Enti wo mu kun wo mu no. Ena wo mu tutu papa nani. Enti the last thing ohu ye say yakun ne ma na yatutu onu so nani. Enti onu no wu ye no. So obi antimi medi hene bio. What I say? Because omo ahine no eye ejaba. Enti no omo firi kwasum bae no, they never had a king. But as of for high priest for no, na ediso. Even though that should be a intertestamental period this year no, but I don't think so. No a part of the year king. And they into Ezra through the book of Chronicles. Yeah, First Chronicles chapter 1. Chronicles. And then the book of Kings, and one over don't one hour sabe Chronicles. Adintra. Me can't last time me can't say. Wabra David the Tiaseno. I now encophobia no mbumai. Right? No more me records. No more so me scribes. Or much letters mano. Now the secretary. Okay, say you need I mean okay once. The same thing. It is our records, and Ezra, because he had access to the temple, what many book to be, and our record the thing that happened. Now start here. First Chronicles chapter 1, verse 1. The day no can was it.
Adam, Seth, Enosh, Canaan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The sons of Japheth.
First Chronicles almost start here. Ezra records of all the things that happened right from beginning of the world. Said I want to saw is it here. It's in the Chronicles and the First Chronicles. First Chronicles said you might and say, am I a busian bian baby will be free? It's the Chronicles, rundown of genealogies a what we are saying from Adam, Eva, but Obeduru, Abraham, no, and Tifa, Abraham. So Adentra, they are tracing Christ. They are tracing Christ. It is on my end, rundown now, Bedru verse 28. Now, for what country say Abraham wo Isaac and wo Ishmael. Now, for what my end, the the background of Ishmael. On my background of Ishmael, pet Nafe was shooting into the background of Isaac. Into the first chapter of the book of Chronicles, gives us the family of the first chapter, the family of the second chapter, my Israel for a family. 80 the first Chronicles, the Juma it gives us the records of all the families of Israel. Joe, that is First Chronicles. Now, Second Chronicles, yankoho. Now, yamfa disiano emrewiye. Second Chronicles, chapter 1. Second Chronicles is over mine. The kingship. Ahinier. A free brea Solomon took over. That's how I see it. First Chronicles on my the families I want to aswa kosi say you benya Israel man any the twa omabra bosu nyina omo ekofa Ethiopia records of omutwa pokoko any sanemani nyina. It is recorded in the First Chronicles. What I say, any ahemfo omudika bedi so Saul ebedi hene na David bedi hene and Solomon. So the First Chronicles end with Solomon becoming king. The Second Chronicles, start with Solomon being the king. What I say, any said the Omohini no esi chair, my benya the northern and the southern kingdom. Ezra did a great job to be able to give us all these details. Etina, so what is so be First and Second Kings are both or China First and Second Samuel or China the work of Chronicles, because Chronicles give the background, detailed background of some of the things that are not said in the book of Kings. So at 7 I say 80. That is what we see in Second Chronicles. It's open. I am for no de see ye and omukonkwa sumu sa na mani na. Second Chronicles will give to you. First Chronicles give you Israel for a free omufrin kwa sumu eba and eba besi said David did hene ewie ye. That is what you see in First Chronicles. Into the minute, maybe I do say what I say me bisa.
Yeah, that's it. My main kind is it's a very great insight into the Old Testament, and I think these last 4 books, although brief, actually has thrown more light on what you've already taken us through.
Yeah, and Joe, my quick be say a free Ezra chapter. Second Chronicles chapter 34. Ekosi the last chapter 36. Obema and there may be a see great assembly na you can was a minor prophet.
Yeah.
So more records ni bi Ezra Chronicles now and amount details. For example, Cyrus and some more to bring them back to Jerusalem. No, not at the saying what were the circumstances. What Chronicles. So Chronicles and all the 2 Chronicles here, it is more like the whole Old Testament.
Yeah. Now,
why was that important, Joe? It was important because Omobabe stepped into what we call the Dark Ages. Ye menya prophet Bia speaking again. And the Chronicles will give you beginning of time. Also starting from Adam, so. And about to the time when Mufrin Kwasumai
Abba.
It is a over started the book of Matthew. No, started Yes, I want to. It is more like a continuation of what happened in the book of Ezra, in the book of First and Second Chronicles. So the last book to be written in the Old Testament was the Second Chronicles.
Okay.
And it's the last book that we are ending our discussion on in 2023.
Thank you very much. Naonim, in you trying to establish the authors of the various books of the Old Testament, on background, the various backgrounds of the books that you raised, no. So why you have actually summarized the whole Old Testament. Why you say Jumano, probably without knowing. If it's a book be a man background. What says the Nyankopon fiti any panante Nyankopon any Israel for Israel Sumu Israel Ephraim Sumu any enkomhye ahodo ni edifo ahodo a Nyankopon any Israel for any enante. Now we are going to definitely branch into the New Testament. Into Erade Buano or the Afefofro Israel. We will branch gradually into the New Testament and also talk about the authorship of the various books of the New Testament. And between the two testaments, we may have a lesson, a study, maybe one time, about boys to build the bridge between the Old and New Testament. Studies not between a flow at also, sir.
Obi can say be as okay. Obi can say me instructor be can say be. Unim say ubie the Bible books no mo a ubedru uwie Old Testament na. Normally you won't say obenya a blank page. Most Bibles no.
Most Bibles.
But see a New Testament mo no. Most obema te say me hay on say blank page.
Yeah.
Right?
And your blank video.
Now, that blank page, one of my instructors at our Memphis School of Preaching made a statement, and I think it's a very profound statement. Or say, this blank page, even though it's blank, it's blank, it is filled with 400 years of life. Issues are a Bible prophecies. 400 years, Alexander the Great or Habi. Say what in the Alexander the Great. Me catch us Alexander the Great echo Jerusalem over Jedi. Or no, the details or Habi.
Okay.
Or Simbi. And a very powerful story. I think, sir, what I will encourage people reading the history reading to do is say Herodotus, and I say just Josephus, and Kinkain. Now it's a book about all these details. Very, very interesting books. I friend the intertestamental periods. It's within that period, it is same bebre. A kwanya, you benya, yo, ye pound there, but I must have question me answering upon. Yeah, kind son, your man, what did you ever hear about Pharisees, Sadducees, or Old Testament?
Up to this point, no.
It's a question is Eden you starting New Testament. You
Okay. Let's leave that. Let's leave that for
within intertestamental period. Until that we'll go details and look at
let's leave that for 2024. Mesra no come home na ya diet for us kind. I think we introduced test talk new in 2023 about 3 months ago, And now, don't wanna follow the Suana free Emra Fiti as here, a bit joining in the middle. Until we showed our appreciation for Emre any data, particularly Dodua Wagana, Omuto data ankasa, na still Omojimre, say Omoni and Ebisian de Boom. Yada Munina say Esre Yankupon Shrane, na more than the moment. Na Yina Empire and say 2024. On my more resource person, or Mumbenya Emre, Ediamaya Yadisia Museya, na Mesos one mama holding, Sebeya, meet me a general Edijumano, and if I from meet me a bemu, a bebuaye engina. Into Yadomunina and a stranger coupon shras momo. And I also so far, you've been our main resource as at this point in tea. For the time, also so when you're Ediama. Your program, there was sister in Yankopon Shra and then a holding at the mouth. We've studied a lot, even up to just the authorship of the books of the Bible, and if where we get the Bible, how the Bible was written, and the various background that we've already established. Yankopon Shra, I mean, it's all be a Obeka for na yemfa any additional number every year.
Joe. Why are they keeping the program going? What say you are going to a whole lot now. You still do this on top of it. Now I say why are they? I mean, sure, be brave. And I heard for say the almost and the almost I made them give say Joe. And then my say say a come back near should be what it will build our knowledge base of the scriptures. Kai say on say. Yesterday, he is coming, right?
Yeah,
he's coming. So far, I think he's coming. I miss you.
Yeah, I think he has come.
He has come, no.
And you will come.
Aye, it's he is coming. Books, I actually he is coming. I say Oba, and I think, sir, just an interesting opportunity. Yeah, we need to thank God for that. And say people should share some of these videos because errors and Joe is as a result of the fact that people don't know the scriptures. So if they know the scriptures it will want to encourage people say TED Talk now. Bible, no? Because the point is that at the end of the day, God is going to judge us based on this book. And why wouldn't you want to learn more about it? That's it. And thank you for having me all this while. God bless you.
Okay. Nyankopon Shrayen say ene ya jemre news ya de radin kan nyina ye ho. Afishia pa.
Everyone needs compassion, a love that's never failing. Let mercy fall on me. Everyone needs forgiveness, the kindness of the Savior, the hope of nations. Savior.
This is